If you feel like you're doing so much during your English lessons, encouraging, explaining, readjusting what you're doing, and yet things are still not going as you would like, watch this video because I'm going to give you 5 very common patterns that can make teaching English to young children harder than it needs to be. Stick around. In my previous video, we talked about what happens when children begin to disconnect during your English lesson, not because they're distracted, but because they've lost understanding. And we found that what actually helps is not adding more, but simplifying and restoring clarity. But this brings up an interesting point because most of us, when this happens, actually do the complete opposite. There are some very common habits that most teachers develop when teaching English to young children. And although they seem logical and come from good intentions, over time, they make teaching harder and less effective. Mistake number 1, increasing our energy. We try to make things more engaging, more animated, more dynamic. And while that can help for a brief time, it doesn't restore understanding. Mistake number 2, adding more language. When kids don't respond, we try to make things clearer with more words, more explanations, translations, requests that we say over and over again. And this works with older children. But with younger children, it creates confusion as opposed to clarity because they're not learning through explanations. They are learning through experiences, through what they feel, through what they're doing, how they are connecting, how they are finding relevance. Mistake number 3, focusing only on language. We all want our kids to talk, right? But more words, more fixed phrases, as if learning English were just about adding new words. For children, language is not separate from everything else. It's connected to understanding, to emotion, to movement, interaction. And when that is missing, language doesn't really take root. When we pressure children to speak before they're ready, we're going to create fear and frustration. Understanding always comes before speaking. When children feel successful and secure, then speaking will come naturally. Quick tip: celebrate gestures, eye contact, smiles and participation, because these are all signs of understanding. Mistake number 4, moving on too quickly. When something doesn't seem to work, we go to the next activity. We have a new idea. We shift into a different mode. But if children haven't fully understood the first part, the second part will only be that much harder. It feels productive, it feels like you're giving a lot, but for young learners, you're actually doing the opposite. They don't have time to process what's happening. They can't connect the dots. And language learning is all about connections. They very quickly become confused and lose their place. So, quick tip: when all of your lessons flow with the same theme or the same idea, the same storyline, things become relevant. Things connect. Everything makes sense. Children feel safe and they naturally recycle the vocabulary and the structures they've been hearing. That's how true comprehension and confidence are built. That's why in my program, everything is built around a single theme. So every activity reinforces what came before. Connections are made, children feel secure, learning is guaranteed. Mistake 5, treating games simply as activities and not learning experiences. Another common idea is thinking that if children are having fun, they're definitely learning. And there is some truth to that, okay? They're definitely learning something that is enjoyable, but not everything that is enjoyable is going to be a learning experience. So when we look for games or new activities or anything that's entertaining, we have to make sure that it has relevance, that it has relevance to what the children have been doing, that it has relevance to the language they are learning. Fun itself doesn't guarantee learning. Children can be engaged and active in an activity and entertained and not really understand what is actually happening. That may have happened to you if you've ever played a game with a large group, maybe you're playing with a ball or something. Do the kids really understand what you're saying? Are they using the language, or are they simply looking around and imitating what the others are doing and partaking in something that is fun because they're moving around having a great time? But is it relevant? That's the question you need to ask yourself. They should use English to play, not play instead of using English. I'm sure that these are patterns that come from a good place. We want to do our best. However, what it shows us is that we always try to solve the problem after it appears, instead of preventing them with a solid structure. So even though we can adjust in the moment, we can bring things back to clarity, we can simplify, change our course of action if you wish, the big shift really happens when our lessons are built in a way that support understanding and have relevance for the children. If you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, don't sweat. We've all been there. It's okay. The good news is that when you understand how children learn, teaching just becomes so much easier, so much lighter, and so much more joyful. And that's what my approach focuses on, helping teachers carry out lessons that are playful and purposeful where every child can thrive. So what does teaching look like when you don't have these moments and your lessons are structured so that your children stay with you and naturally move from one moment to the next? Well, stick around because that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. Click the video that's up on your screen right now, and thanks for watching.